Hello and welcome to another edition of National Focus. I'm your presenter Mervin. Thank you for joining us. Topping the headlines, Prime Minister Skerrit calls for a review of dual citizenship laws. Dominica's geothermal energy program catches the attention of representatives of the Clinton Climate Change Initiative. Stay with us for details of these stories and more after the break.
Hey, I had a good time in town last week with a pretty girl, man.
Hey, carry me next time when you're going now.
Where we get paid Friday, we gonna go.
Careful, they might catch AIDS.
AIDS? Them girl pretty. Them girl can't get AIDS,
I
man.
think it's only ugly women have AIDS. Anybody could get it. If you get sick, what you can tell your wife?
Hey, your wife, come in.
Hey, change the topic. Change the topic.
Your family depends on you. Don't take home AIDS.
Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit has called for a review of the country's constitution to allow Dominicans residing in the diaspora the opportunity to be nominated and accepted in public office. He made that announcement at the official opening of Dominica's 35th anniversary of independence on Friday evening on the Dame Eugenia Charles Boulevard.
I believe at 35 years we must critically examine our constitution and see where we need to make certain constitutional amendments to foster a better way of life for people in Dominica. To tell me that a country of just about 71 or so thousand people, with so many of our bright people living in North America, for example, to say that because they are American citizen, still maintaining the Dominican citizenship, that they should not be allowed to contest elections in Dominica or be part of public administration in Dominica is unfortunate. And I think we need to remove the ambiguity in our constitution in respect to persons with dual citizenship, particularly from North America, having the opportunity to represent our country. Because this is a large and vast reservoir of talent that we have. And people who are prepared to come forward and make a contribution, we should not expect them to give up everything that they have worked hard in the United States of America to achieve, just to come back to make a contribution.
In more news, as the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank marks its 30th anniversary on October 1st, Governor of the bank, the Honorable Sir Dwight Venner, says maintaining the stability of the EC dollar and the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union financial system has been the bank's major achievement over its existence.
I think we have maintained the stability of the regional arrangement. You can see it in the stability of the currency, which is now 37 years, from 1976, and also in our ability to maintain the financial stability in the region, which is in our vision statement. And that is that we have managed to keep our banking system stable, and we hope to improve it so that it will supply the services necessary for our development.
In looking ahead, Governor Venner said the support of the people of the ECCU for the ECCB and the new Economic Union Treaty will be important as the bank continues to fulfill its mandate.
Now that we are moving to an economic union, the role of the bank will be increased. When the first OECS treaty was signed in 1983, of course the bank was not in existence. The bank came a bit afterwards. So now in the new treaty, the bank is named specifically as an institution of the treaty with specific mandates under that treaty. So that is what I think is going to make it very exciting for us in the bank.
The ECCB was established on October 1st, 1983 as the monetary authority for 8 countries, namely Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Cabinet of Dominica has approved Callaloo as Dominica's national dish. That announcement was made by Chief Cultural Officer Raymond Lawrence when he addressed the start of independence celebrations last weekend.
Earlier this year, 4 surveys were carried out to get feedback from the Dominican public as to which dish they thought should become the national dish of Dominica. And the results of all the 4 surveys showed that callaloo was the preferred choice of most Dominicans. The recommendation was made to Cabinet, and Cabinet has approved. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to announce this evening that callaloo is now Dominica's official national dish.
A Minister for Social Services, Community Development and Gender Affairs, Honorable Gloria Shillingford, has called on Dominicans to showcase their culinary skills, paying particular attention to preparing callaloo during this year's independence season.
We have now declared callaloo as our national dish. This is an added feature of this year's celebrations, and hence I encourage everyone to showcase their culinary skills as we prepare and promote callaloo as the national dish of Dominica during this year's independence celebrations and thereafter. So Dominicans, I encourage you to promote callaloo. Prepare callaloo in all its different forms with that special flavor that makes it truly Dominican.
Callaloo is a popular Caribbean dish originated from West Africa, served in different variants across the Caribbean. Dominica joins the rest of the ECCU member states in observing Financial Information Month. The theme for this month's activity is Reshaping Our Future, Starting Now. In an address by the Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, he says the theme seeks to inspire and challenge all citizens of the ECCU to take action at the individual and institutional levels that will result in stronger financial foundations, more competitive business offerings, and higher levels of economic growth. The program promotes awareness and understanding of general financial and economic issues and incorporates a series of initiatives. In Dominica, 17 institutions have partnered to make Financial Information Month 2013 a reality. The month of activities will include the following: entrepreneurship sessions, capacity building initiatives designed to support and maximize the potential of students and the teachers in the areas of finance, economics, entrepreneurship, and discussions on financial matters, among others. This year marks the 12th year of celebration of Financial Information Month. Outgoing Director General of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, Dr. Len Ishmael, says the issue of free movement of skilled nationals across the OECS region has been addressed by the organization as part of the Economic Union. The arrangements agreed by member states gave effect to the revised Treaty of Bastia and allows persons to enter the participating member states without hindrance and remain for an indefinite period in order to work, establish business, provide services, or to reside. Dr. Ishmael addressed the issue during a press conference in Dominica last week.
In articulation of the revised Treaty of Bastia, we ensured that the very first thing we did in the Economic Union as an early harvest was to ensure that our people in the OECS could move and move freely. And when we said our people, we didn't say classes of people, we said all people. You could be a carpenter, a nurse, someone straight out of school, whoever you were, all OECS citizens have the right to move freely. It's the very first thing which was undertaken since August of 2 years ago. All OECS persons have that right under the revised treaty.
The Director General notes that all member states have put in place the necessary legislation to make the free movement of OECS nationals possible.
Whilst one or two of our member states have lagged a little bit with respect of amendment of the legislation to make this possible, all of them have in fact enacted the administrative requirements to support the free movement of people. One of the things, for example, which are very much part of the element of the free movement is that a Dominican going to Antigua in search for work no longer has a requirement to meet work permit certification, for example. You have the right to go there, to look for work, to bring your children, to seek medical support, to seek education once you're resident there. and that is right. So that I answer you with respect to the CARICOM situation by saying it was one of the issues that we wanted to make sure that we were not bogged down with, and so we dealt with it first and frontally.
August 1st, 2013 marked 2 years since OECS heads of government declared that people of the OECS region can move freely throughout the OECS Economic Union. Through that regime, arrangements are being enhanced for OECS citizens to enjoy free movement throughout the 6 independent member states of the OECS and most recently, Montserrat. As Dominica celebrates its 45th anniversary of independence, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt would like to see nationals take a position to be more positive-minded citizens. The Prime Minister says too many people are preoccupied in negativity. He says this attitude will not contribute to national development. He says there is an urgent need for real introspection.
What concerns me in Dominica is that I find we engage ourselves in unnecessary arguments instead of putting our positive energy, or energy rather, into positive things that can uplift ourselves, our nation and our people. I find too much of our time is spent attacking each other, criticizing each other, and being too negative and critical of Dominica. Each one of us must do some introspection during our celebrations of our 45th anniversary of independence. And we must ask ourselves a simple question. What have I done for Dominica lately? What is it I have done to make my country a better place to live in? What have I done to assist my neighbor who might be less fortunate? What have I done for this country that has given us, each one of us, what we have today?
And to the island's youth, the country's leader encouraged them to remain focused amidst the negative distractions surrounding them and embrace education as a tool for empowerment.
I say to our young people that we have to take on the challenge of remaining focused amidst all the distractions that are going around us. We have to remain positive. We must have a vision and a plan for our lives and for our country. And education is important. Education is important, and I urge all our young people that they must take advantage of the many opportunities in education.
Meanwhile, Minister for Social Services, Community Development and Gender Affairs has called upon all entities responsible for fostering brotherhood, togetherness and patriotism to be united in the vision for a better Dominica. The minister's call came when she addressed the official opening of Dominica's independence celebrations last Friday.
Entities such as families, churches, schools, groups, organizations, councils and clubs to issue a call for renewed commitment from your members to the spiritual, social, cultural development of our country. I urge you to mobilize your members in every sector, every community, to be part of Team Dominica with national development as their primary goal.
Dominica's 45th independence celebrations is being held under the theme One Mission, One Dominica, celebrating 35. Managing Director of NGE Energies has described Dominica's geothermal energy pursuits as virtuous. NGE is part of a French consortium which intends to partner with government in the development of the geothermal plant. The managing director was one of several development partners who attended a forum last week on government's geothermal energy program.
It is both environmentally a perfect project in the sense that it is a CO2 emission reducing project. It's a very strongly effective leveraging project in economical terms, both for Dominica, that is very clear, but also for the region, because it will allow the two neighboring French territories of Martinique and Guadeloupe to enhance their own green power consumption and it is not negligible in that sense. And all in all, it will also feed in money both ways, not only here in Dominica again, but also for the global development, also for Martinique and Guadeloupe, because this will create activity, industrial activity, economical activity around the project. So we are both virtuous, but also there will be a wealth-creating project, and that is the key issue in it. And I think in that respect, I think we are in some respect playing a parallel role to our political authorities in France by bringing up regional development and sort of in harmony with the wealth of the people.
Meantime, the country's geothermal energy program has also caught the attention of representatives of the Clinton Climate Change Initiative. David Wenstrup represented that grouping at last week's forum.
The Clinton Climate Initiative aims to promote projects that are both very meaningful in their own right, but also have the capability to set themselves as examples for other projects to go forward. The Clinton Climate Initiative is very selective about where it devotes its resources. We have very limited resources, and we want to apply our support and expertise where it's most useful. And we're very pleased to make this a very high priority for the Clinton Climate Initiative. Both the potential in the resource here in Dominica has the potential to be both very transformative for both Dominica and the region more broadly, and then secondly, and extraordinarily importantly, the government is committed to action and transparency and move forward in a process that will be both successful and benefit the people of Dominica and have an important impact on reducing greenhouse gases.
One of the matters that the current administration will be paying much attention to is the development of the appropriate legislation to guide the process forward. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt told the press conference last Friday that this was one of the matters discussed at last week's forum.
We are working with the AFD and the European Union, our partners, and we've asked the rest of the participants to examine the legislation themselves and to see where they believe, based on their own experiences, we can strengthen the legislation so that everybody who will have a part to play in the geothermal exploration and the generation of electricity for Dominica and for export will be protected, and the interests and the issues would be addressed in this bill, because the legislation is going to be very critical. Yes, there's policy, but legislation is stronger than policy. And we have always maintained as a government that everybody must be protected in this legislation. And it has to be transparent, it has to be engaging. So at the end of the day, we can say that this is a model to be followed by other countries who have an interest in moving towards the exploration and taking advantage of the geothermal resources which they may have in their respective countries.
And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moins c'est McPherson St. Luce. Le gouvernement Dominique respecte droit moun Rose Valley si l'autre projet géothermique. Parole c'est là sorti au ministre énergie Honorable Ribbon Blackmore.
Quand nous savons, nous avons mis l'entrée moun avant toute bagarre Dominique. Et bien à présent, nous avons parlé avec ces moun à l'heure de et bien nous avons respecté taille, loyer, etc. Et bien nous avons fait certain nous baillons respect et on travaille avec eux.
Et puis finalement, ingénieur qui a autant d'expérience en projet géothermique Jim Randall déjà bas review bien positif potentiel projet en géothermique. Randall qui n'a plus que 30 ans d'expérience en exploration géothermique participé en forum géothermique qui prend place en Dominique semaine passée. Randall fait parole qui y parle de pièce fondation qui projet celle-là peut la cautionner tremblement de terre bien mauvais. Quand même, Randall fait parole qui peut-être ça ni un petit trémors, mais pas rien bien significant pour la cautionner dommage. Randall fait parole qui projet celle-là bien unique pour la Dominique. Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle créole pour à présent. Non moins, c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
Do you have uncovered water storage drums around your home? Do you dispose of old tires, cans, and old containers capable of holding water anywhere in your environment? Are you being bitten by mosquitoes, particularly at dusk and early morning? Do you keep houseplants in water? Do you spend your hard-earned cash to control mosquitoes? Has your community experienced dengue fever outbreaks? If your answer is yes to at least 3 questions above, you are at risk to dengue fever. Join the fight against dengue fever. The responsibility for a dengue-free Dominica lies with you. So, get rid of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
Today we bring you a few quit smoking tips. Get ready, set a quit date and stick to it. People who do not smoke at all on the quit dates are 10 times more likely not to be smoking in 6 months. Get rid of all your tobacco products in your home, car or place of work. And don't let people use tobacco in your home. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Mervin. Thank you for watching.